So we are here for the second part of Isaiah Martin, of calling him Isaiah Stewart in the last episode. Definitely Isaiah Martin.
Our
The
bad.
second part, yeah, my bad. Second part of his debate with Royce White. Um, look, it may look like we have a gear to grind with Royce White. Low key, we kind of do, but
Yes,
I
we
just
do.
like I we do, but I do enjoy seeing these so-called, like we were talking about in the last episode,
Yeah.
these people who think they can grift and jump into the political, lane without knowing, any proper context of how to be a politician,
Yeah.
without knowing the history of politics in
Yeah.
America. I
Or even
think
how.
yeah, I think it's another example of them jumping in too deep, and so. And again, I want to remember Royce is like our age. I think Isaiah Martin's like 25, 26. So that just goes to show you that, like, like you're saying, Lee, there's people who do this shit and there's people who just want to, put the costume on.
Yeah. Faking the funk on it,
Hmm.
And I'd like to say it's not us grinding our gears. It's more like Royce grinds our gears with his grift approach.
Yeah.
Because as you just mentioned on it, he doesn't talk about any policy or even how, doesn't show any understanding on how legislation works or how the different offices of government works. Like on the last video we covered on the last topic point, you could tell like Isaiah's coming in with facts and history and dates and things, or even how things should work versus Royce was coming in like, oh, I'm gonna attack you rather than actually talk about economics and then try to flip the topic and talk about the border, which forced Isaiah to switch up and start talking about the border, even though they weren't talking about the border. It's disingenuous. It's not a
Even
politician.
he wasn't even attacking Isaiah. He was attacking what he thinks the left wants to defend. It's not even like the
Yeah.
individuals. He wasn't going at the individual's talking points. He was going at, like,
True.
I don't know what it, like, some arbitrary, like, thought process he thinks we have, especially when it comes to trans people. Like, I
Yeah.
don't understand why the right thinks that's such a major concern on our side, because it's not. Like, I think,
Right.
if people want to, we're just kind of like, do what you want to do. I don't really have any, like, opinion on that, and
Yeah.
we were just saying, like, the science backs up,
Yeah.
trans rights. Like, there's no point of you, like, if on the fight, you need to. Listen, y'all, my straight men. If you're straight, that's not the hill you need to die on.
Yeah.
You really don't have to worry about that. Like, that's not something
Yeah.
you need to worry about.
Yeah.
It's so minute. They're like 1% of 1% of the population.
Yeah.
But yet, like, you have one side of the political field making it a big issue, and it really isn't. Like, you
No.
don't even run into
Absolutely.
people who are trans half the
Yeah.
time. So,
Rarely.
like,
The other thing I was thinking about it too, since we did that last episode, I was just thinking like most of those people, like even like Royce, will be the first people to tell you this is a goddamn free country and don't tread on my or don't tread on my rights. But it's like you will take your own, I guess, your own understanding of religion and how you've come to understand science, and then try to flip that to create conformity from how people will express themselves. Because like let's just put it like your sexual attraction is a form of expression. So you're going to take your religion knowledge or your scientific knowledge and then try to box it here and then tell this group of people, you can't live this way. You have to live the way I see it. And that's freedom. It just, it makes no sense, especially in a situation where, once again, they're not being robbed, they're not stealing from you. These are people who are still paying taxes. These are people who are still adding to the economy. You're not the one who's hooking up with people. You're not the one who's going to bed with these people. So it's weird that these are the same people who are trying to champion freedom while trying to take away freedom from others.
that's why I think the right attracts low intelligence, because people who are low intelligent are okay with the hypocrisy. Like, they're okay with, like, not seeing that it's hypocritical to to be like, well, I deserve to have the First Amendment. I deserve to say what I want to say, but you can't date who you want to date, or you can't, you know, if you're born a male, you can't consider yourself a woman. It just doesn't like it doesn't hold together. If you want one thing, you need to have the other thing, and that's just the issue with that side for me.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, we could talk about the left. We could talk about the left side. You know, I have issues with the Democrats, but that's not the conversation we're having today. You know, because we haven't had the chance to have that conversation. We have, but like right now, the right is so bad that like I don't have time to argue with the Democrats and what they do wrong. So,
yeah.
anyways, this is just another I guess example of the right welcome anybody who's willing to be honestly a grifter, and a bigot. They'll take anybody in like that. And so this is the second part that Isaiah wanted to show, of him debating Royce. I think this one's worse because it just shows like the ignorance on one side. So I'll get it booted up here.
I guess fair warning for anybody who's just kind of like jumping into this. If you're actually looking for a constructive debate between this whole entire thing, it's not really that.
It's not gonna
But
happen.
it's, yeah, but it's still a good way to get different perspective for somebody who knows what they're talking about, by somebody who's just, I'm gonna keep on saying this, faking the funk, you know,
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying there's not people on the right side that don't know how to debate. I just,
who they choose to represent them doesn't tend to
yeah,
show that, you know.
and I'll share my opinion on that. I just don't know who it would be at this time, like that, that could give you a good, solid like argument for the Republican Party right now. And that could be probably because of my bias, but I can't name somebody off the top of my head that like is a great debater on that side. So
But even, yeah, you bring up a good point on that because I was thinking right now. But even if you look at it between the two different, let's put it on the liberals versus on the right side, it's like you see the kind of it's hard to talk sense on the kind of policies that the right side is kind of trying to push and stuff. When you really think of it on a logical or even a human perspective, it gets very difficult to defend that kind of stuff.
and
It's like taking away trans right. It's like, okay, if you're a logical, compassionate human being, it'd be very hard for you to see that
I,
the
I
logic
mean,
behind it.
I could even take it away from being a compassionate person. Just take the compassion away. Just be logical about it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't like it doesn't make any sense. Like mathematically, their population isn't big enough to sway anything
Yeah.
really, but they're big enough for you to sway people who are empathetic. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like the logic of the right side making that such a big talking point and thinking that's the reason why Trump won is kind of funny too. But um, when you look at what people are worried about, that's not even the top five. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, we'll let Royce kind of dig himself a hole. Minnesota, don't vote for this man if he gets the. I don't think he's gonna get the nomination, but if he does, don't vote for him. We'll see, we'll get this going.
Of course. Yeah,
How
absolutely.
does NATO work, Royce?
Right now, it works that it's breaking the American people's back, a working class of a bunch of
How does it
Europeans, and
work, Royce?
they're giving their continent and their countries away to foreign invaders the same way Democrats want to do
Can you
here.
point to me? Can you point to me where
Tell
in
you how
the
it works.
United
I'll
States
tell you how it
budget
works.
it has a line item for
Uh,
NATO and
I-
Spain's defense? Where
Are
is
you
that in the
saying that?
federal
Are you
budget,
saying that the
Royce?
American taxpayers do not
I
fund
asked you a
NATO?
question.
I'm
So I just want to put some little bit of context if you're jumping in here. In the last video, I believe Isaiah brings up something about spending money on the military or something like that, or I think he brings up NATO, something of that nature. And Royce said, "Well, America pays for Spain's defense or something." I forgot what it was. You got to watch the other video. I think. Oh, that's what it was. Isaiah talked about how we're spending more money to deport people, and it's the same amount of money that Spain spends on their military. And
Yeah.
Royce said, "Well, yeah, because we pay for their military, which is you guys like if you believe you can't, that is such a dumb thing to
Yeah.
say.
Once
Like,
again, how the hell does that even tie into what he was
how are
saying?
you running for
Like,
Senate and that's what you think? That's what you believe. Like with nothing to back that up other than what you think. Like because someone might have suggested that might be a thing. That's not how NATO fight. You're gonna see like it's just complete idiocracy on the other side. But and they think it's common sense, just so sad. So
I
that's
love
what
his
happened.
I love Royce's confidence on how he feels like he said something right and something very accurate, and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. They know
Oh, he
that makes
doesn't
no
know.
sense.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. All right, I'll play it.
I'm
You,
asking
you,
you.
Let's go.
I asked you a
Why
question.
don't y'all
Do you
ask?
know
Why don't
NATO
y'all
works?
answer each
Same
other's
reality.
question? What's up, my friends? Back again with another crazy segment from that debate I had on the Stephen A. Smith show. This guy, Royce White, as some of you know, was a former Republican nominee for Senate in Minnesota. And this guy has been completely obsessed with me ever since this debate. I mean, he is tweeting at me, he is posting at me. So I was like, you know what? I don't think that we've embarrassed this guy enough, so let's go and embarrass him a little bit more. This is a clip of this guy having no idea what NATO is. He has no idea how it works, no clue of the function of NATO, and it's completely embarrassing. You got to watch this. I'll see you on the other side.
The Democrats try and bait and switch you by using Spain's military spending as a juxtaposition to our deportations. First of all, Spain's privilege, and it is a privilege granted to them by America, and how much they do or don't spend on their militaries, because NATO subsidizes Spain's military defense, which is subsidized by America. We subsidize the entire European Union's defense to a substantial margin, an increase, which is why a lot of America firsters wanted us out of NATO, which Democrats defend vehemently. They defend
You
NATO.
want to get out of NATO?
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
How does NATO work, Royce?
Right now, it works that it's breaking the American people's back, a working class of a bunch of
How does
Europeans.
it work, Royce?
They're giving their continent and their countries away to foreign invaders, the same way Democrats want to do
Can
here.
you point to me? Can you point to me where
Tell
in
you how
the
it works.
United
I'll
States
tell you how it
budget
works.
it has a line item for
Look,
NATO and Spain's defense? Where
Are
is
you
that in the
saying
federal
that? Are you
budget?
saying that
Royce?
the American taxpayers do not
I
fund
asked you
NATO?
a question.
I'm asking you.
I asked you a
Why
question.
don't y'all
Do you
ask?
know
Why don't y'all
NATO?
answer each
Same
other's
reality.
question? Why don't y'all answer each other's question?
You're not even
Go ahead.
starting from the same reality.
I'm
If you
just-
don't
Royce.
accept that America subsidizes NATO,
Royce,
then you're not even dealing in reality.
how does NATO work? You don't. I don't think you
Does
understand how
America
NATO works.
subsidize NATO?
What does that mean?
Does America put in the lion's share of the funding for NATO?
You think there's a
Isaiah, that is a direct question. Does
Okay,
America
but-
put in a lion's
Does the
share of money to
American
NATO?
people
That
plan
is a
to
direct
align-
question.
How that
No.
works?
because I don't think that Royce understands how NATO works.
All right, well, tell us.
NATO.
Well, tell us.
Look, NATO means
I want to pause it, and that's how dumb the American population is.
Yeah.
Even Stephen A. Smith is kind of like, well, then tell us. Okay, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. I was gonna say, but I was gonna add to you, but I think that's also part of the problem. Like, I mean, no hate to Stephen A. Smith. I just gotta be completely unbiased and call out bullshit when I see it. It's like, I think he should have extended that same, I guess, assertiveness for Isaiah's question, because he's the one who first brought it to the plate. Where it's like, okay, Royce, explain to us how NATO works, and then versus of being like, as we just saying right there, then one tell us, which is like we kind of play along to it rather than calling out the bullshit on it on the other side. Because I think
I
he
just
just
wanna
put it
give a-
very well.
Yeah, I just want to give a quick. I mean, this is AI. I'm not going to tell you, but AI, what he's saying is true, is that your country spends at least 2% of their GDP of their own defense. So if you're spending like 800 billion dollars, right, on your military, that's a crazy number, but like let's just say that's the truth. You got to put at least 2% into NATO of the funding that you're putting into your military. So no, America doesn't just sit here and just fund NATO. It gives probably more money because we be the bigger military. But that's our decision. That's not like no one's saying like, well, U.S. has to have more troops around. No one's saying that. That's our decision. So what Royce is saying is vehemently wrong. And
Yeah.
he's running for Senate. He's running to be in the government to make decisions.
Yeah.
And if you think Royce is the only one who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, who's running to be a candidate or then the candidate, I got ocean property to sell you in Idaho.
Yeah.
This is what we're dealing with in our government, though. You got idiots running for government or in government. They don't know what they're doing, i.e., Donald Trump, and just go off whatever makes them feel good. And
Seriously.
And that's the issue we got going on in America.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to put it in your face. I'm not telling you to vote for. If you want to go and vote for an idiot, that's on you. I don't
That
care.
sounds
That's
familiar.
what you want to do. But just be sure that you know that you're being an idiot.
Yeah. Just see the bullshit. I agree with you on that. Very, very well put on that.
It's in your
'cause-
face. It's in your
And
face.
before you jump on there real quick, I
Go ahead.
like him refusing to answer Isaiah's question was because Isaiah's question was gonna expose that he's not stating something factual.
Facts.
Because it's like the minute you started answering that question, it dismantles everything he was just saying before.
When you start dream shaking, like Isaiah like to say, that's when you know you don't know what you're talking about. When I ask you what's 2 + 2, you go, well, it depends on the day. If it's Monday, it could be, what I'm saying, I don't know what you think it is. Like, what the nigga, answer the question. What is 2 + 2? Like, if that's the thing. So he doesn't know the answer, and he could have just looked it up on Google. Like, he's sitting right there. He could have looked it up real quick, but.
Or
But
even
just-
you could have even played it out. Then why don't you tell us how it? Kind of like throw it back.
And
like,
if you want, and that it kind of puts the burden back on Isaiah, which means you don't know what you're talking about.
exactly.
But even Stephen A. Smith doesn't know it. So
yeah.
means that every country has their direct investment that they spend on their own military for their own defense. The 2% target for defense spending that these countries have, it's not like America is paying that. That's saying that you want the United Kingdom, you want France, you want our NATO allies to go and spend that on their own.
and he laughed. That laugh is a tick that they do when you don't know the what he didn't even know what Isaiah is talking about.
At all. It's going
That's
over his
a
head.
nervous tick. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Yep.
Defense. Royce, you seem to believe that there is a line item in the United States budget for Spain's defense or for France's defense. And if you believe that, then Royce, why don't you go and show me where in the federal budget this
I didn't
is
say that.
instead of spouting conspiracy theories?
I didn't say that. I said that we are the lion's share majority of subsidization for NATO. We give the most out of any of the other countries. They don't carry their weight, and they don't carry their weight to a degree where if they need to go to war with an enemy on their border, such as Russia, they have to call us to help them to do it, which is exactly why we're still in a war in Ukraine now, because NATO couldn't fight Russia without America's help. So we do put in the money. We
What?
do put in the
Ukraine's
money.
not even in NATO.
Okay.
What?
Exactly right,
Forget
sir.
that?
That is exactly right.
So what is your point?
What?
So why is the entire European Union in America by NATO decree
I don't.
going?
I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can watch this, bro.
It's
And I'm
hard.
not trying to do that because we had I'm that. What the what? Oh my god.
This is what I was saying. It's not an actual debate. It's literally an argument. When somebody is just like an argument, you're not trying to change anybody's perspective. You're not trying to win. You're just trying to get your point across. And it's ridiculous that what he was saying, like Russia attacking Europe and we have to come to your defense. That's the whole point of the North Atlantic Treaty. Like, it's not. It's if one of them gets attacked, we're gonna jump in and help out. That's the whole point of the
not
treaty.
in
Dude.
Ukraine's not in NATO, but we have the Budapest Memorandum.
Yeah.
If we have to tell you, I don't like the fact that we have to tell people who want to be a sitting senator candidate. All right, well, I'm gonna let this play out, and then
It's difficult.
I can tell you what it is after, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't know what that is. But I can tell you guys on the back end, but I don't think he knows what. Hold on.
But his whole argument, pretty much, because if I'm correct, he was like, "Oh, why do we got to show up and help you out when you're attacked?" I'm like, "That's the whole point of NATO.
That's the whole point of NATO.
the
Okay, I get
treaty.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
a
point of
defense
NATO,
pact.
but when it
Like,
comes
they'll-
to Ukraine's not in NATO.
Yeah, it's not even in NATO. Ukraine is trying to join NATO because
Yes.
that would be the biggest deterrence. Because it's like once you attack, if Ukraine was under the NATO treaty, if they were attacked, that would force the other NATO countries to now
Yeah.
start confronting Russia. So it's like his whole thing on it makes no sense. Like, he's not applying Ukraine correctly, and even if we would apply that correctly, it's like NATO is a pact. It's like it's a treaty. Like, what do you?
And he's not addressing when you say, like, okay, I want to eat healthy. and I'm gonna eat high protein, and you go, well, you spend a lot of money on protein. It's like what? Like so when I know
Like,
that doesn't make sense to somebody. Like,
y'all
but
see? Do y'all see?
it,
Do y'all hear?
does
Like,
that make sense? Did that hypothetical make sense to you? Like league, like you have the biggest military in the world, so you're spending your 2%, and he's saying, well, we spend the lion's share in NATO because you have the biggest military in the world, so of course you're going to spend the lion's share. Like, what do you like? I don't understand. You made your army that I can't do this. I can't. We'll play it out. We'll play it. It's just,
it's hard,
To
especially
the
when
aid
you're
of
coming
you.
from a logical point. So, all right, let's keep
and
it
we
going.
don't do politics. Like we're just we're two
Just
people
regular
trying
people.
to YouTube.
Ukraine
Alright,
to the
I'm shut up.
detriment and debt of our own country.
Do you know what the Budapest Memorandum was?
Yes, I do.
There you go.
What is it, Royce?
The point is, see, this is what
Tell me what it
you didn't
is.
answer my question. Wait, you didn't answer
No,
my
tell me what
question.
it is, Royce.
Wait a
Wait,
second.
Stephen
You
A.,
didn't
I
answer
think that
my
this is
question.
very important. If we're going to talk about Ukraine,
You didn't answer my question.
Can you just
Why?
tell me
Why?
what is the Budapest Memorandum? You're a
Why?
United States Senate candidate, Royce. Why
This
can't
is-
you
this
just
is
give me
what
this
they do.
answer?
This is what they do. When I
Stephen A., I feel
debunk
like
one of
this is
when I
important.
debunk one of their answers, then he goes to this random question about. And well, you don't answer this
Wait,
one.
can I go
Something
back?
about
Can I go
Ukraine
back?
This is
I'm
how
not
you.
trying to
No,
be-
wait a
But
second.
Stephen
You
A.,
didn't
I
answer
think that
my
this is
question.
very
Hold on.
To a degree where if they need to go to war with an enemy on their
Sorry,
border,
y'all.
such as Russia, they have to call us to help them to do it. Which is
Okay.
exactly why we're still in a war in Ukraine now, because NATO
Okay.
couldn't fight Russia without America's help. So we do put in the
Ukraine's
money.
not in NATO.
We do
Yeah.
put in the
Ukraine's
money.
not even in NATO.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Exactly
NATO's not
right,
even
sir.
activated.
That is exactly right.
So what is your point?
What?
So why is the entire European Union and America by NATO decree going to the aid of Ukraine to the detriment and debt of our own country?
Do you know what the Budapest Memorandum was?
Yes, I do.
What is it, Royce?
All right, I'll stop it because Royce doesn't know. I'll give you
No,
guys
that's
a
why he's
quick
not answering.
AI overview if I can. The Budapest Memorandum on Security Assurances was a landmark political agreement in December 5th, 1994, under which Ukraine agreed to surrender the world's largest nuclear arsenal in exchange for security pledges from major powers, like the United States of America. A critical point of the modern debate, I just want to see what it was. The core pledges, the primary agreement consisted of 3 nearly identical documents signed by newly independent post-Soviet states, Ukraine, Belarus, and Kazakhstan, and 3 nuclear armed superpowers, the United States, United Kingdom, and the Russian Federation. Respect Ukraine. So basically, Russia supposed to respect Ukraine's independence, sovereignty, and its borders, refrain from the threat of using force against Ukraine's territorial integrity, avoid economic corrosion designed to subordinate Ukraine's sovereignty to their own interests. So that's what we signed. NATO, U.S. signed this memorandum to say if Ukraine gives up the nuclear weapons that Russia wanted them to do, because they signed the memorandum too,
Yeah.
that they will be an independent, sovereign country. And now Russia's trying to take them back. Royce doesn't know this. So, because if he knew this, he wouldn't be saying the things he's saying.
Yeah.
And this is the crux of him not answering the question. And if he does answer the question, that means this whole argument makes no sense of what he's like. It doesn't make sense for him to
Once
make that
again.
argument.
Yeah.
But what he's going to do, he's going to try to pivot and say it's what they always do. When I debunked your question, he didn't debunk it. He didn't say anything.
No,
You heard what I played it back for a reason.
Yep.
So I'm gonna let it play out now. But this is some bullshit.
The point is, see, this is what the.
Tell me what it
you
is.
didn't answer my question. Wait, you didn't answer
No,
my
tell me
question.
what it is, Royce.
Wait a
But
second.
Stephen
You
A.,
didn't
I think
answer
that
my
this is
question.
very important. If we're going to talk about Ukraine,
You didn't answer my question.
Can you just
Why?
tell me
Why?
what is the Budapest Memorandum? You're a
Why?
United States Senate candidate, Royce. Why
This
can't
is-
you
this
just
is
give me
what
this
they do.
answer?
This is what they do. When I
Stephen A., I feel
debunk
like
one of
this is important.
one of their answers, then he goes to this random question about. And well, you don't answer this one.
I'm talking
this
about
is
Ukraine's
this is
defense.
how you. No, wait a second. Wait a
You
second.
brought this up.
I've
You-
answered
you-
a lot of questions, Stephen
this
A.
is
It
what
seems
the
like he doesn't
Democrats
want to
do.
answer this.
But the reason why you don't like me is because I don't let people do that. That's corny.
What are you
What
talking
you're doing is
about?
corny. Every time I debunk one answer, you jump to another lily pad. That's
What
what
are
you
you
do.
talking about?
The
So-
bottom line is the
There's
bottom
Let's finish.
line
Let's
is
finish the thought, and then I'll come back to you, Isaiah. Go ahead, Royce. Finish your point.
NATO,
No.
even furthermore, we got way off on the Spain and NATO. The bottom line is this: Spain.
You
brought up NATO, dude.
You brought up NATO.
Ukraine, and it had nothing to do with it. Like, oh my God. This is what they do. Like, literally, like, disingenuous people who can't win a debate will try to derail shit just as he's doing. So
I'm not trying to play for the camera. I'm really annoyed. Like, and I listen to this sometimes when I'm working, so I don't really tap in, and then we put it on here for a thing to talk to tap into to react to. I don't know how do you guys debate these people? Like, for real.
I'll go nuts.
He'll bring up something, and we showed you in the David Pacman show. We did the same shit. He'll bring something up, and then when you take his point and put it in, not put it again to him, but I guess make him answer questions on the point that he brought up. Like, do you know what you're talking about? He'll get mad about it and be like, well, and then move the goalpost to something else.
Yeah.
Like, you brought up strip clubs. You brought up, like, what are we talking about?
The one thing I kept realizing with this type of debaters, if you want to even call them debaters, is they'll hope that they'll spew some word vomit, some bullshit, and then you won't address it and you'll move on to the next topic. Like, things fall apart quickly the minute you start challenging them on what they just said. Like, even before you bring up your own point, how Isaiah keeps on going back. I'm like, wait, you say this. Do you understand how this works? And when you start picking it all apart, it's falls to this. And, like, I don't know. You can't even call it shifting the goalpost. It's like you're trying to pick up a different book right now, man. Like, what the hell? Like, we're still on this book. Like, what you doing on this other book? Like, we ain't even finished chapter 1. We barely skimmed, like, the introduction,
I just feel like, all right, I'm just going to play it. I have nothing to say.
Military spending should not even be brought up in conjunction with our effort to deport illegal foreign invaders. Even the idea is an internationalist sort of globalist philosophy. I don't give a shit what Spain spends on their military. We're going to deport every single foreign invader that Joe Biden let into
but
this
is that
country.
rational? Is that rational though, Royce?
Absolutely.
Can you really deport? Can you really locate 15 million immigrants and deport 15 million immigrants in this country? You really think that could happen?
We better.
But hold up. Wait a second.
We better find a way.
We just witnessed.
Go ahead.
Wait, would China do it? Hey, wait a second, Stephen A. Would China do it? Would China deport every foreign invader? Because these Democrats are they're proto-communist.
So all right. So yeah, it's gonna be a longer video than I want it to be. So he said how he doesn't care about what Spain does because he's trying to say I care about what's going on in this country, and then he goes, well, would China do it? It's not logically consistent, y'all, and I need you guys to understand that. They're not logically consistent. He doesn't care what Spain spends, but now we care what China does?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about?
Very good point. Very, very good point. Good point.
This is what I'm gonna say. He's just talking. Joker Tango. This is a Gish Gallop. It's nothing. These are nothing but things. He doesn't. So he's trying to find something to get Isaiah. He's trying to get Isaiah to bite, and Isaiah's not biting. And this, if you're a leftist and you're a Democrat or whatever, and you're debating people, don't go on them tangents with these people. Don't get into that. Stay on the topic. And this is what Isaiah does a great job of that.
Yep. I was just saying, like, he does a great job and follow him by example. Just stick to the topic. Keep it.
CCP, fans, they love China. They love how many roads they can build. They love how affordable it is to live in China.
China and Russia would do a lot of things the United States wouldn't do. But go ahead.
Wait a second. Wait.
I got a bit of response to this.
Would China deport every foreigner? What happens when you cross the border illegally in China, Stephen A?
I mean, come on, Stephen A.
I say, what happens when you cross the border in China?
We're going off subject. I got you. Go ahead, Isaiah.
That's not off subject.
No, it is.
I mean,
it is.
Like way
it is because I'm only talking about
our national mortal enemy, and it's not relevant. What would happen? What the standard is? What the universal standard is of how you deal with illegal foreign invaders from one country to another? They're our national mortal enemy.
I'm saying your point is made without me having to get into China and Russia. That's all I'm trying to say. But go ahead.
What I'm saying specifically is If you cross the border illegally in China, they don't take the time to pleasantly deport you back to your origin.
But this is not them. We're not them.
Wait a second. We are in a. Wait a second. Hold on.
Way off.
Wait, no, we're not way off.
He's like in
We're not way off.
Siberia right now.
I had a couple of other issues.
Guangdong
I had a
tigers
couple
at
of other
this
issues
point.
I wanted to get to
Stephen A,
before I
wait
let
a
y'all
second.
out of here. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Stephen
Royce.
A, there is a. Wait a second. When Russia crossed over into Ukraine and invaded Ukraine, we used an escalatory ladder to determine the military action we should take to Russia based on their existential threat to our country. And a lot of Democrats argued for that. They said, we can't let Russia invade Ukraine because they'll roll across Europe. And some Democrats even advocated that we use short-range tactical nukes to push Russia back. Now we get to a conversation about China and their deportation policies, and all of a sudden it's not equal. It's not.
Did we ever start fact checking on these, bro?
Yeah.
Like, did we really? Who?
I think, yes, absolutely. I mean, even beyond this, for anybody watching this, a lot of things are going to have to fact check. Don't believe anything until it's up to your own reasoning and understanding. And that includes fact checking and some referencing and not sticking to just one news source. You might have to check a bunch of multiple different sources and see how each person is reporting on the same exact story. And
he just made some shit up.
big time. And that's what they hope.
I mean,
They'll make some shit up, keep talking, you forget about it.
I'm looking real quick, but there's no.
And you can know he's making shit up because he's not stating any facts or any references on anything, you know? He's just talking.
He just made that up, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get into that because I don't have, we're not that kind of show. Can I play that back?
Not yet.
I got to play that back. Hold on now. He just said that they requested for short-range nuclear weapons.
When Russia crossed over into Ukraine and invaded Ukraine, we used an escalatory ladder to determine the military action we should take to Russia based on their existential threat to our country. And a lot of Democrats argued for that. They said, we can't let Russia invade Ukraine because they'll roll across Europe. And some Democrats even advocated that we use short-range tactical nukes to push Russia.
That's a flat out lie. Audience, if you're watching this, the 3 people who watch the show right now, he's flat out lying to you right now for no reason. There is no reason for him to lie like that other than to get you scared. I don't know what else there is nothing. I mean, I look quick. I'm not sitting there saying, Democrat. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna play this and we'll comment afterwards.
Now we get to a conversation about China and their deportation policies, and all of a sudden it's not equal. It's not equitable to analyze
equal?
Across the two countries. We're in an asymmetrical war with a national mortal enemy, and in China they don't pleasantly deport people back to their origin countries, and they certainly don't assimilate them and give them free credit cards and health care, education.
Got it.
They shoot them in the back of the head. Stephen A. is what they do in China.
Isaiah, go ahead.
We're not going to do that. We want to deport them.
Isaiah, go ahead. Wherever you, I got a couple more questions before I let you get on out of here. I just didn't want to rob you of the opportunity.
I mean,
you good?
Yeah. I mean, no. Look, this is what I want to say.
I'm like that.
What I'm saying is that,
hold on.
I think Hakeem Olajuwon would be proud of this pivot because, again, your dream shape.
Let me move on. Let me move on, guys.
Steven, let him answer. Steven, let him answer, man.
Not being a good moderator.
Please. Go ahead, Royce.
Look, all I'm saying is this. We were talking about Ukraine and why NATO countries were defending Ukraine, and he thought that was a gotcha. That's why I asked him, what is the Budapest Memorandum? He cannot tell you. That's why he's trying to pivot to China and all those things. It's called gish galloping. So I just want to ask point blank directly, Royce, what is the Budapest Memorandum? Because I think that if you answer that, you will then have the answer to all of your questions. Can I just get an answer from that?
No, it's not. No, because what you're doing is you're trying to forward an international. You're trying to forward an international.
That doesn't even know what the Budapest Memorandum is.
No, I know what it is. I don't regard it as.
Then tell me. Explain it.
I don't regard it as legitimate, and I don't
Tell me
regard a
what
lot
it
of
is,
these.
Royce.
I don't regard a lot of these
He
international
cannot tell
agreements.
you.
I mean, this guy has.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not a debate. You're just there, I guess, call it gossip and argument. It's not even gossiping. It's just somebody's there to argue. They're just there
He's
to
not even
fake
there
the
to, I
fun.
don't know what that is, bro. Is he really there to argue? 'Cause if me and you are arguing, we're arguing about the same thing, aren't we? We're having the
Yeah,
same conversation. We're
and
having the,
I would still have to bring up concrete points through it. Even
like,
if
if
it is
me and you are
argument.
talking about LeBron James and Michael Jordan, who's the GOAT. You
Yeah.
bring up why you think Mike is the GOAT. I bring up why I think LeBron James is the GOAT. And it'd be contextual. You wouldn't say, well, Magic Johnson, he did this. You'd be like, nigga, what the fuck that got to do with Michael Jordan and LeBron? Like, we're not even.
And then bringing up, but they play handball in Ukraine, and that, like, what the fuck does that got to do with basketball? Like, but that's what I'm saying about the whole entire thing. Like, he wouldn't even answer like the whole Budapest memorandum situation there, like, because he doesn't know what he's talking about. But I think the other worst thing that could be is that he knows what he's talking about. He's just trying to be disingenuous and derail everything by having a different agenda where it's like, no, I'm going to try to shove this perspective to the audience so the audience believe things from this perspective.
And Stephen A., you're trash, bro. Like, you can't let Royce get off all this weird shit. Like, China shoot people in the back of the head who go to their country. And we want to deport them, and that we better deport all these 50 million foreigners. And, like, he said that Democrats wanted to shoot short range nuclear weapons, or because Russia's a threat to our country and they might steamroll Europe. Like, what? Like, he just is.
Yeah. He didn't do a really good job being a moderator on that one, I do have to say, unfortunately, because it was like, how can you extend a courtesy to Royce when he's just kind of like talking nonsensical things, but then the person who's actually talking logical, you're almost going to try to skip over his question, forcing the individual themselves to be like, hey, let me ask my question. And then finally you're like, oh yeah, finish that. It's like, when he was the first one to actually ask a logical question that pertains to the actual topic. So I feel like as a good moderator, when you're trying to stay on topic, it's like, yeah, we're going to address the questions that are on topic as we keep on going down the line. That part really made me mad on it, where it's like,
I don't like
he's.
cover Royce anymore, bro. I can't.
I think it's
like
good we cover it. We still cover it to show. I mean, hopefully for the people tuning in, it's like, yo, don't vote for things, man. Don't pay attention to stuff, and don't just let people like talk and move the goalposts every time. Seriously.
We should cover his primary debate if he wins the nomination. We should cover the debates. God, he's a horrible debate. That is horrible debating, bro. Horrible, dude, Royce. You gotta do better, bro. Like, if you want to be Republican, whatever, man. But like, you're trash at debating. Yeah.
It's like you're gonna have to understand how things work. Like, unfortunately, you get to a point where you can't fake it anymore. You can talk, you can keep on faking it till you make it, but that will only take you so damn far. You either have to make it, or you're just gonna die a fake. It's like,
and you know what? If we're wrong, if someone wants to come up, if someone agrees with Royce, let us know where we didn't see it, what we missed. But like,
I genuinely would like to have a discussion,
right?
Yeah. Not an argument, like an actual discussion where I want to understand your perspective, right. And hopefully you can try to understand our perspective.
I had a guy that he'll know what I'm talking about him. He was talking about how, like, essentially, like, Royce is the candidate that wants to get us away from the Jewish control, the Jew, you know what I mean, like the Jews running our country, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, what Jews are running our, like, Zionists? Like,
yeah,
Israel?
And are you talking about Israel? Or are you talking about like, Jews? Actual, like,
Like, we're so lost in the sauce on these talking points, and like, it's just so. and people want to jump on like the next train or be on one side or the other side. It's like just understand like the colonists the is like Israel Zionists are all in the same bag. Like it's not just one group of people, y'all. It's not just
Yeah.
Jews. It's not just Muslims. It's not just it's the honestly, if you wanted to put them all in one bag, it's the elites. Like it's the
Yeah.
elites that are throwing this over.
Yeah.
But like we're all fighting each other,
Big
and
time.
Royce is not helpful. Royce is not
No.
helping the conversation because
At
he's
all.
blaming black people and blaming Jews and blaming women. Like this whole red pill angle he has going on because he's an abuser. Let's be real.
Yeah.
He has a lot of things in Minnesota that came out about him,
Big
and he don't
time.
want you to know about that. You know what I mean? So keep your head on a swivel. Don't vote for that. Look, man, if you want to vote for Republican, I get it. Conservative economy. I get. The economic part. I can somewhat understand. If you're a rich man, look, but don't vote for assholes. Like, why would you vote for an asshole? How's that gonna bring our country together? Because he wants to kick out 50 million so-called illegal immigrants, and he doesn't even know how to get them out of here,
Yeah.
and can't debate. Doesn't know what he's talking about. So
No.
it's frustrating, bro. So I can't
Yeah.
stand that shit. Man.
Big disappointment with him on that one. And it's frustrating listening to all those debates. And it's not the only one. There's a bunch of other people too as well, where it's just like you just listen to them and it's like you keep moving the goalposts. You never answer the questions. Everything you're saying, if I ask you a question to debunk that stuff, you're not gonna answer it because it makes you look bad. So
And then they say they debunked you, which I don't like. You ask them a question, they don't answer it, and they'll say they debunked you. Like, how the fuck? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? All right. Well, I'm good. I'm done. Any last words, bro?
no, we're good. Fuck Israel, free Palestine. That's all I gotta say.
I'm with it, man. Fuck Israel. All right, y'all. Y'all be easy, man. And look, I'm gonna be real, man. We're for the people.
Yeah.
So power to the people. Fuck
Other people are
Israel.
good people.
Free
Oh, the one
Palestine.
thing I gotta add on it is like people being killed and people being oppressed is not politics. It is just bad
Yeah,
things. And we need
it's
to
bad.
stop bad things and we need to speak against bad
Yep.
things. So yeah, that's my
I
point.
think it's interesting. I'm in it with this that you raise the generation of millennials to be anti, Nazi. You push that message, and then you're trying to push a message of us being cool with people who are also creating a genocide. You
Yeah.
know, and the people who have woken up, we appreciate you. And one still sleeping, man, get your head out of your ass. But all right, y'all be easy. Till next time.